Favela, favela, vinha aqui na favela pra sentar no grau, pra sentar no grau, pra sentar no grau, vinha aqui na favela.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brad with TechBud Solutions and OTCs. If you are not familiar with my channel, or if you're just joining us, well, welcome. I will leave a link at the top right hand of this screen right about now, just to kind of let you know how to get started with TechBud Solutions if you've never been a part of our group. It's a great way to get started to kind of like explore, our Facebook group, as well as our Discord chat group that we hold every day, and basically discuss what's going on in the market. So tonight I want to talk to you a little bit about what a CE or caveat emptor is, and how that affects the value of a stock, how it can bring a stock down. Tonight we're going to focus on two examples. This one in particular is going to be Firefish, FRFS. You've seen me talk about this before if you follow my channel regularly. This is a great stock to make a ton of money on, and unfortunately on Friday after market close, it was slapped with a caveat emptor. So what is a caveat emptor? It is, we shorten it up to CE typically when we're talking within our chat group. So if you see, just the initial CE, that's what we're talking about. Sometimes it's also referred to as skull and crossbones, because if you go into the OTCmarkets.com resource when you're doing your DD, you'll see sometimes that caveat emptor or skull and crossbones show up on particular stocks. Basically, what that is that the SEC slaps companies with something like that when they see some kind of irregularity or see some kind of violation, and so it basically, if you want to, get a little technical here, caveat emptor, it's an old Greek term used to basically means buyer beware. That's all it basically means. It means buyer beware. This company hasn't followed the rules, and so we're slapping them with this until they can get, their stuff straightened out. And so that's what that means. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Firefish here. This has kind of been one people have just been watching very closely. There's a lot of news that was released on Friday afternoon, I guess around lunchtime or so, and it just went right back up almost to 8 cents on Friday. Everybody's really excited about it. They're like, this is awesome, whatever else. And then see the CVEM, that's what that is, caveat emptor. And so then that got slapped onto them on Friday. And then as you can see, the market opened today and it went down, and then it just kept going down. And today it ended up almost 60% in the red. Unfortunately, what was almost at 8 cents is now at 3.5 at the close today. And gosh, this is just such a stock killer. I think that this is going to have potential down the road for those of you who decide to bag hold this one and hang on in there. I am a little sorry for you guys that lost out on all that profit if you didn't get out in time. But unfortunately, that's just how it rolls sometimes. I don't even know how to tell you when to expect something like that, because a CE just pops up. It could be something as simple as there was a promotion that wasn't properly filed with the SEC or whatever, or there's some kind of irregularity with the buying that screams extreme manipulation or something like that the SEC wants to slap on there. And we can go into this a little bit. I already have it pulled up. So if we go into OTC markets, if you're not familiar with OTCmarkets.com, I strongly encourage you to use this as a resource when you are doing your due diligence on any stock in the OTC. This is your go-to place when you're looking up, filings, news, what have you, because you're not going to find this regularly on any of your other news outlets when it comes to like big boards and stuff like that put their news out, because this just isn't as popular as like the big board stuff. You're going to see Apple news all over the place, but for something like this, you probably never even heard of this company. So it's a lot harder to find the news, but this is the place to find it when you're looking for something that's been publicized, public or PR and all that good stuff. So anyway, this is basically what it is. I don't think we still actually know yet why the CE was put onto this stock, but this is basically just to give you an idea of what it looks like when you're looking up a particular company and you see this. This will be the first thing you see is this skull and crossbones. Like I was saying, that's what we refer to it as. And for me personally, this is whenever I see this, I don't even mess with it. I stay away from it, until they can figure out what the heck's going on, because it just gives you such a level of uncertainty, and that's why a lot of people, just sell this thing off once they see that, and they're like, great, now I just went up, 300-400% today, and now it's just going to drop. So I hope you got out of this one quickly if you were in it, and tried to minimize those losses. A lot of us got in this thing pretty early on. Took profits when we could, when it ran the first time, and then it ran the second time, and a lot of us fortunately were able to sell before the market closed, and this unfortunately was slapped on there. Another stock today that had this happen to them was CWIR. Now this was one that I particularly called out this morning. Actually, I called it out for several weeks now, just as a potential one way or the other. When I put up every morning in our chat group, I put up a watch list. Now it's not a buy list, it's not a sell list, it's just a watch list. There could be potential here. Keep your eye on it, that type of thing. That's the whole idea of a watch list. I never put a watch list out to say, hey, buy all this stuff that I'm putting out there or sell all this stuff. No, just something that I would encourage you to check out just because I've heard some things or whatever, or I've seen some things, some volumes picked up on this particular stock or that particular stock. Maybe you should check it out. That's the only reason I put a watch list out. So anyway, this is CWIR, one that I've been, having my eyes on here lately. And you can see here, third-party promotion. Promoter shouldn't have contacted company before promoting. Unfortunately, they did not. They put out a promotion, I don't want to say illegally, but they put a promotion out and they didn't do the proper, I guess, procedures or whatever that the SEC wants to see. And so then they slap them with a caveat emptor, and you can see here it's already on there. If we look it up, and there it is. You can already see it when you're looking it up through in here through the OTC markets. And unfortunately, this got slapped with one too. It's just one of those things that it really sucks for the people who are invested in it, because they're going to take a hit on this, and oftentimes it means that you're just going to be stuck into it until it comes back up to wherever you got in at. Because I rarely encourage anybody to sell while they're in the red. I guess it depends on where you're at with your and where you're at as far as your investment strategy goes, how far along you are in the size of your portfolio, if you can afford to just sit into something like this or just move on. That'll have to be your own decision. But basically, that's all I kind of wanted to talk to you about tonight. Just, what a caveat emptor was. What does that mean for you as the investor if you're in something like this and you get slapped with a caveat emptor? 9 times out of 10, it's not a good thing. Sometimes you'll see an emptor put on there and then it comes right off because they're like, oh, well, it wasn't what we thought it was. Maybe it was just some irregular trading that we saw. After investigation, it was fine. And then oftentimes you can capitalize on that bounce. If the stock comes down because of this skull and crossbones that gets tacked on here, then it comes right back off. you know, that's a good buy-in opportunity. So you can look at it that way as well. You know, it just depends on, you know, the situation, why it was implemented onto the particular company. And, you know, it's just one of those things that you're going to have to continually do your own due diligence on if you're either interested in buying into something like that or if you're already stuck in it. So this is the risk that's involved with OTCs. It's just one of those things that you have to understand that you may have to deal with if you're planning on trading these types of stocks. It's just the unfortunate side of it. You know, I don't want it to discourage any of you who are interested in you know, trying to invest and make some profits on OTCs, because the potential there, I feel, far outweighs the drawbacks that you find with these. You know, this is the kind of stuff that scares people away, and I really don't want to discourage anybody from trading OTCs, just because there's so many of us that see success with this. And you know, but I want you to understand that, you know, if you're new to this, that this is just something that you need to be aware of and take it as it comes, and then, you know, react accordingly. So anyway, guys, I just appreciate you watching tonight. That's all I got for you guys tonight. If you learned something, please subscribe to my channel as well as like this video, and I will see you all later. B Smith is out.
Pra sentar no grau.